My name is Peter, recovered alcoholic. Grateful to be alive and sober, and part of a sacred place called Alcoholics Anonymous. Can't thank the group for having me and getting to share, see where God takes us. My assignment is step 6. June 23rd, 1988 is when God separated me from alcohol. I'm grateful for this gift of sobriety. I have a sponsor. I sponsor a bunch of guys, and my home group is No Problems, Just Solutions in Boca Raton, and we meet there on Wednesday nights at 7:30. It's a little big book, kind of Joe and Charlie-ish format, if you will, a little big book format, and I'm very grateful to be a member of that group. It's one of the bright spots of my life. It's a group that started out with a handful of folks and has blossomed and really doing quite nicely and helping a lot of folks. I look at step 6, and one of the questions that come to me is I have to ask, when I'm sitting with the sponsee, for example, as my sponsors have sat with me, the question was, how free do you want to be? We go to an ocean with a thimble, we come home with a thimble full of water, and the Lord's given you everything, and I settle for the appetizer, and I don't sit in for the entree. And I have to wonder why. There's so many things in life where a new gadget comes out and we run and get it. Make life easier, I'll take it. Pursue the avenue of making more money quickly, I'm down. Working less and getting paid more, I'll sign up for that. But when it comes to my soul and getting free and traveling light on this journey in a very volatile world, I hit the pause button and wait and see what happens. And one of the things that has gotten in my way when I was new, we kind of grow up a little bit in Alcoholics Anonymous, but when I was new, not only myself, but I would see a lot of folks settle for feeling good and seeking comfort rather than this inner peace, seeking to be happy. Well, that sounds good on the front end, but it's based on what I think I need to make me happy. And those can be the very things that block me from God. But this inner peace, the stillness and okayness, where I'm all right with other folks, I'm okay with God, I'm okay with me. That's what I want to sign up for. In order for that to happen, it means pulling down the old structure, the daily dying for successful living. And so what lengths was I willing to go to? Do I want to settle for comfort? Do I want to settle for, waking up spiritually? And 6 and 7, you can look at it and say, well, geez, it's only a paragraph each. How important could this be? Why do I even have to? I can buzz right past them, not pay much attention to them. But if I didn't do that, step 9 would get really messy. And I probably have to go back to make amends for my original amends, because I'm there with intentions that aren't pure. It's not organic. There's an angle on it. And which means my 10 and 11 work are going to suffer greatly, because it's me who's trying to move me into the world of the Spirit. It's me who's trying to arrange God to suit me. It's me who's trying to move God in a certain way. Rather than being changed by God, I'm trying to change God's plan for me. And I'm never free. I'm always tight. I'm still vibrating. I'm still like half in the saddle, and I can't really get in. I can't pack into the stream of life because a lot of things are coming at me. And the cool thing about waking up spiritually and having some sort of contentment deep down in my soul, it doesn't mean that for me circumstances are going to change or people are going to change and life out there is just going to go the way I planned it. It'll probably still be messy, but my GPS has been fine-tuned how I'm navigating through it. With all the stumbling that I do and all the tripping over my own feet that I do. One of the realizations for me was to come to terms with how broken and flawed I am, that I'm going to cause a traffic jam on the highway when I'm the only guy there. That's just how it is. I'll be sitting on the couch. Maybe you could identify with this. I'm sitting on my couch and life is really good. I'm looking out the window. I'm saying, geez, the palm trees look beautiful. The weather's great. Working on the tan, the job is good, the health is good, the relationship good, the money's good, the car's good, everything's good, the neighborhood's good, Boca Raton's good, everything's good. This is really good. And out of nowhere, my mind blindsides me and throws my age at me, and suddenly I'm not so good. And I'm thinking, geez, I got a lot more road behind me than in front of me, and I got to do a lot of things by noon. Get rich, go snorkeling, hiking, camping, fishing, do all these things. I should make a movie before I die, at least one. And then I planned my Academy Award acceptance speech. And then I realized there are a lot of people that I could blame that I'm not there yet. And so I have this narrative, and what the mind does, and I was just talking to my sponsor about it, it doesn't mean that when we get well that the mind's not going to operate my life, but it just operates less because of a level called awareness. What I do is I see things in my mind. I know how they're going to happen. Money's low, so I see myself homeless. And what follows is a whole story behind it. There's a whole narrative that operates to prove my mind right, to prove itself right. I lose a job, my mind sees me as no one wants to talk to me because I lost a job. I'm the only guy on the planet who's lost a job. No one's ever lost a job, only you lost a job, which means I'm going to be panhandling on Broward County at any minute. And here comes the narrative to follow, and I listen to it. And they're my thoughts, so I believe them to be true. Then what my mind does after offering a problem... Welcome. My sponsor just got here. My mind sets up a problem. I buy into the whole narrative, and then what it does is creates a solution for it, for the problem it started. So now I'm dealing in something that's not reality anymore. I'm in unreality world. And I'm twisting and turning and making lefts and rights and trying to figure all of this out. By nature, as an alcoholic, I can say I'm a pleasure seeker. I want ease and comfort all the time. Whatever it might be, whether it's food, money, property, prestige, you name it, I'm a pleasure seeker, and I will run that into the ground. So when life gets uncomfortable, my mind says, this is too uncomfortable. I have a way out of this. It's the solution to a problem that doesn't even exist. I could spend years in therapy talking about something that's not happening anymore. Sitting in therapy, talking, and I've been to therapy, I encourage people to go there, but there's a point where this isn't happening anymore. Why am I still talking about it? Because my mind loves activity. It loves defects. It loves drama. It loves being what we call back home jammed up. Traveling heavy. I got a story. I get a sense of identification from all of it. It's my story. So I come from a dysfunctional family. Well, let's ask the family who's really dysfunctional, because I'm in AA, they're home. Now, some of us come from really banged up families. I'm making light of it. But I use it as my flag to carry. And if you had my life, you'd be like this too. I got it, but we're in AA now. We're supposed to get past that. And what I've learned from my own experience, and quite frankly, countless others, as we begin to really have these new experiences over and over and over again, a reawakening, if you will, revisiting 4 through 9, having a new insight into stuff, that life is going to happen. But I get to transcend a lot of the things I couldn't transcend maybe a year ago. Kind of water off a duck's behind. People slandering me used to really gonna get them, and now it's like, I don't have time for this. I'm 66. I really can't get involved with this. Does it hurt? Absolutely. Does it sting? Absolutely. But I can't, plot blowing up someone's car right now. I can't do it. I don't have time for it. Life's too short. We're here for a vapor. I remember my sponsor telling me one time, what are you doing about the dash? And I was really perplexed by this. It was like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning that he called me, and I don't have time to figure out his guruism right now. And he said, what are you doing about the dash? What are you doing about the dash? And I said to him, Mark, I don't know what the dash is. He's when you go to a cemetery, there's a headstone, yeah? And on the headstone, there's someone's name, the date God brought them here, and the date God took them home, and right in the middle is a 2-inch dash. That's their life. What are you doing about yours? Squandering hours that may have been worthwhile because I'm caught up in a resentment, or my story, or the if only story. If only I was born here. If only my parents were like that. If only I married that. And it just goes on and on and on. And I carry my flag right into AA. And I never get better. Bill talks about emotional sobriety. My sponsor would say, just grow up spiritually. Does it mean problems aren't going to happen? Absolutely not. Things are going to happen. Loved ones are going to get sick. We may get sick. Babies will be born. People will pass. But somehow when I have this undercurrent of okayness, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but I know I'm going to get through it. I just know, because I realize I'm awake to the connection I am to this power called God. There's no separateness, that there's oneness. And I need to be clear of that, not in the head, because the mind is fickle. The mind wants to be Moses on Monday and Rambo on Tuesday. Can't do that. You're in a big book meeting. Pat's doing the big book meeting, and for 4 days where everyone's lathered up. I'm going to be a guru. I'm going to do the book. And by Wednesday, we go right back to doing what we're doing again. Because it's a conclusion in the mind. It sounds good. It has to happen in the soul. And when it happens in the soul, I stop forfeiting the invitations God keeps sending me. I'm looking for them. I'm listening for them. God's always talking. I'm listening to another voice, mine. And all the narratives in the head. Why do I have anxiety for? I'm listening to my mind. Why do I have fear for? I'm listening to my mind. Why do I have lust and greed and envy and sloth? Because I'm listening to my mind. That's what it does. It likes being employed. It doesn't like being unemployed. And it blocks me from this power called God, which is its job. Because when I connect with God, the mind knows it's going to be out of work. It's going to be unemployed. My sponsor calls it this. If you go into a boardroom, you have board members who have voting power, and you have board members who don't have voting power. The ego and the mind are in the boardroom. They're never leaving. They just can't vote anymore. They have no say-so into the decisions that are being made. They just take notes. That's the mind, because it's not leaving. My mind will be with me till God calls me home, and so will the ego, and so will the pride. It's just at lessons where I don't pay attention to it so much. And it isn't me who's doing it, but this power who works through me, who does it for me. We talk about, hey, God does for us, we can't do for ourselves. Well, here it is. I can't get me sober. I can't keep me sober. It's God could and would if he was sought. And you're the bridge to God. So is this big book. How free do I want to be? If I'm sitting here, and maybe no one is, but if I'm sitting here, whether I'm new, I'm here a while, and I'm still vibrating, why? Bill uses the word utopia to describe Alcoholics Anonymous. That's a very, very big word. It conjures up visions of like paradise, utopia. I'm kind of floating around, butterflies and angels. That's how he describes AA and this life. And if I'm not even tasting some of that, I have to do my own inventory and say, how come I'm not? What am I missing? What am I doing that I should not be doing? And what am I not doing that I ought to be doing? Eventually the ball drops in my lap. And so for me, I would get hooked into the comfort where I got my set meetings. And if I'm in Boca, God forbid I should drive down to Fort Lauderdale. That's a long way. I'll drive an hour to give a talk. Will I drive an hour to listen to a talk? What lengths am I willing to go? How free do I want to be? How free do I want to be? And so I go to God, as I did early this morning. I ask him to allow me to be disciplined to a spiritual life, because I'm not going to leave it up to me to be disciplined to a spiritual life. I'm human, I'm broken, I'm flawed, and I'm alcoholic, which means I'll look for the easiest off. The way I prayed last week, I feel good right now. I don't need to pray now. I'll pray later. I'll make it up later. I'll double down tomorrow in prayer, do a really long prayer. I'll go to church on Sunday, make up for all the lost time. It doesn't work that way, because alcoholism is moving in. It's constantly looking to take ground. And once I yield ground, it's hard to get it back. Once alcoholism infiltrates, it's really hard to push it out because it doesn't want to go. My alcoholism doesn't come in a bottle of whiskey, so it sits in this thing called defects of character while I'm not drinking. It's not in anyone else. It's not in the world out there. It's not in the wrong political party or the right political party. It's not the color of my skin. None of that stuff. It's right up here in my own mind. And what really blows me away, over and over and over again, I've learned that Alcoholics Anonymous is counterintuitive. Everything I've been taught some good lessons. AA, about 90% of it says get rid of it. It doesn't work. My dad's from the street, rest his soul. He taught me how to grow up in the street. Street smarts, we call it. 90% of it I had to get rid of if I was going to stay sober and walk this life. Forgiveness was a sign of weakness. Tolerance was a sign of weakness. Being patient was a sign of weakness. And they're telling me to do all these things in Alcoholics Anonymous. So there was a lot of claw marks left in things I was almost demanded to let go of. How free do I want to be? But I will tell you, the first fifth step up until the most recent fifth step I did, I still see things in it that I don't like. Thank God. Or I'd be a sociopath. I don't like operating like this. I can't believe I felt that way about this person. I can't believe that person still runs space in my head. And I can't believe this defect or these defects are still flourishing. I got 500,000 meetings under my belt, for example, and I'm still doing this. Why do I look for these avenues out when I'm sitting right in front of God and I have utopia, but I'm looking to go down that alleyway or this alleyway? Like anger, which insists that I'm right. Anger insists I'm right. And it is a pathway to revenge, retaliation, to gossip, to slander. It wants no part of forgiveness. It wants no part of reconciliation. And it likes to replay it over and over and over again. We call that a resentment. And what drives that is fear. How many times do I wake up to that? How many of us wake up in the morning? I am an early riser, 5 a.m. I'm up, and at 5:01, as soon as I kind of get my bearings, I'm in the middle of a heated argument with someone. I wake up in an argument. And before my feet hit the floor, I'm figuring out how I can get back at them. They died 20 years ago. I didn't even get to the prayer mat yet. Then I become Moses. And I'm all forgiving. And my first cup of coffee, well, I can't believe they did that. Here comes the narrative. And it follows me all day long. And the thing about resentments and anger, these narratives, they beget more. And so by the time I walk into the AA meeting, I got to put on my AA game face and prove to you how spiritual I am. But if you pry me open, I look like World War II. There's a lot of stuff going on in that. But I can't tell you, because you might think less of me, another narrative, all coming from the mind. God forbid I should sit down and say, you got a minute, have a cup of coffee. It's a mess today. I don't know what's going on. Can't do that. You may not like me. You may think I'm less spiritual. Yet, when we're on this path, the real spiritual giants are transparent. They'll sit down and say, I had a really awful day today. I don't know where it came from. Lust was in the way. Pride was in the way. Greed was in the way. So I finish a fifth step, and am I willing to have God remove all the things I admit are objectionable? Absolutely. The first time I went through the work, there was one that I was questioning, and that was trust. I never forget this. I remember sitting with my sponsor, how afraid I was to trust. That's something I had to go to God for, and I wasn't going to let go of not trusting people. I was brought up with a code. The only thing you trust is the money in your pocket. My dad told me, his brother, my uncles told me, my dad's friends would tell me this. Trust the money in your pocket. Trust no one. Yeah? So you get hit with that at like 5 years old, 7 years old, 10 years old, 15 years old, 20. This is part of your makeup. I had to cut that loose. I'm going to come in here and tell someone everything and trust them with sensitive information. They're going to use it against me. So no one's getting it. Trust God? Well, he's God. I'll tell him some stuff. Sponsor, I'm going to tell him some stuff. Because my mind would go, what if this doesn't work out? They have ammunition. This is how I was brought up. That had to go. And I left a lot of claw marks in that. You know what made me let go? Pain. When we talk about humility, it's forged out on an anvil of pain and suffering. When I hit the wall over and over again, and say, I can't do this. I don't know what else to do, but I'm in a lot of pain. Can you help? You say, run around the block 5 times. Okay, I'll do it. It's got to be better than this. I can't make humility happen in my life. I'm going to get humble. Not good. Same way with defects of character. You know, I used to hear and bless their hearts folks say, you got to work on those defects. That's not going to happen. It's like me working on the ocean. Don't move. I don't have power to do that. I'm not God, but God could and would if he was sought. I remember there was a guy, Don Emmy, would talk about, he would say, God, I got the defect. It's cornered. I got him. Hurry up, come and remove him. And then 10 minutes later, he's back again doing it again, whatever defect it might be. Our book talks about selfish, self-seeking are the root of our troubles. Selfishness and self-seeking, that we think is the root of our troubles. I mean, that's the tip of the iceberg. What drives my defects, what Bill talks about in the 12 and 12, it's old, is the 7 deadly sins. By the way, that's ancient. That started with some monk in like 334 AD or something. It's ancient. He had eight deadly sins. That's how old that is. Bill borrowed. But when I look at my defects of character that I see on paper, they're coming from the 7 deadly sins. Pride. I'm God. I may not verbalize I'm God, but my actions and my inner, the dialogue is I'm God. I don't give credit to God when things go good. I take credit for it. I remember a guy called me up. I says, how'd the meeting go? He says, I gave a great talk. Oh, I see. So God wasn't there. You mean God gave you a good talk? I use information to feel better about myself and have leverage over you. That's pride. Why do I need to pray and get on bended knees to God and beg God or go to God for mercy when I'm really beyond that? That's pride. You have the problem, not me, so I don't have to get involved. That's pride. I don't need to write inventory or go to a meeting every day. I'm good. That's pride. And when I run out of road with that, I start to experience hopefully some humility. Anger, we talked about that. What about greed? I'm not grateful, which would be the way I need to go, or charitable to combat greed. Greed. I'm taking what you have. Greed starts to get into coveting. I want what you have, but I want to do what you did. Greed, I'll step over you to get what I want. I don't care about you. I have a loaf of bread under each arm and you're starving. I don't even give you a couple of crumbs because it's mine. I want more of everything. With money, property, and prestige, attention in AA, to be the big guy in AA, that kind of stuff. I just want more. And I have a lot, but God forbid I should share it. There was a pope, he said, if you have 2 shirts in your closet, one is yours, the other belongs to a man who doesn't have a shirt. My wife and I stop the car very often, usually on Sunrise on 95 coming down here. There's always folks with the signs. Broward sometimes too. I was that guy a long time ago. I can't tell how many times maybe I had a $20 bill in my pocket, or my wife had a $20 bill in her purse. We gave it away. God has never let me go without that. It just comes back. My wife always say, take care of God's kids and God will take care of you.
Yeah, he will.
So I do it. I was in, there's like a CVS or one of the Walgreens on Sunrise and I forget the Andrews. I think that's where it is. And I pulled in there. I was working over down here somewhere a while ago, and I pulled in there to go into get a prescription. And there was this homeless woman. My heart broke because she wasn't that old, and she was in rough shape. And sheepish way, she asked me for some money. And I had a $20 bill in my pocket, and I gave it to her, and she yelled out, "Praise the Lord!" I made her month. It didn't cost much to do that. Greed. Gluttony. We all know gluttony. We're alcoholics. Give me more of everything. I get sick and I'll take more. I need more of everything. There's this thirst that I can't satisfy for anything. I get sick over it. And I keep going back for more. I didn't know anything about moderation. Envy. I count other people's blessings instead of my own. A story I always like to share is, it was like 82-ish, and I'm in the basement of my dad's house, And I'm not doing good. I'm already in trouble with non-conference approved dry goods and drinking. And my music career is starting to suffer because of that. I'm miserable. And my kid brother, my middle brother, got a job on Wall Street for some very prestigious firm and was an instant success. And he came home elated, running through the house telling my dad that he got a Christmas bonus, this is 82-ish, of $25,000. He couldn't believe it. He was a new kid on the block, and they cut him a check, because there's so much money down there, I guess. My dad was thrilled. He said, let's have a drink. I hear them toasting. And my younger brother says, we're going out and you're paying tonight. And it was a big thing. And I'm in the basement and my teeth are grinding with hate and envy. My dad liked him better. He got all the breaks. He went to school. I'm a struggling musician. No, you're not. You're a drunk and a drug addict. That's what you are. I lost my mom, so did they. And I'm just doing all of these things. It should be me. I didn't even congratulate him. I walked out of the house like a brat. Envy. Lust. Take me to places and doing things that causes breakups in relationships. I have no fidelity to God, so I have no fidelity in my life. I do things that I wake up to, I can't believe I did it, or I think I'm going to bed with Bo Derek and I wake up next to Bo Diddley. I can't tell you how many guys have come to me. I do a lot of these workshops on weekends when I'm on the road. And usually Saturday after lunch, or during lunch, I get the dead man walking look. It's, what's up? You got a minute? I say, yeah, what's up? I'm sober this long. They put that out there right away as a qualifier. I got 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. But I'm struggling. Struggling is an illusion. It's a mask to the truth. I got everything in front of me. What struggle? The struggle is I don't want to take the necessary steps. I want to hold on to what I have because I know it, because then I want to release it and go to a place that I don't know what I'm going to get. With me? And it's always the sex stuff. Pornography and acting out in other ways. Stuck. Can't get out. It's the new drink. They're picking up a drink through that. But what about lust for money, property, and prestige? We see it happen globally right now. Everybody wants to take over everybody. It's not working out too good. We have a world at war. I can do that sitting on my couch, be at war with the world. Because I lust for money, for property. I want to be God. I want to be the voice of AA. I want to be the voice of my company. I want to be the guy. I want more of everything. And sloth. Lazy. I don't take care of my body. I haven't walked around the block in about 2 years. I don't do anything. What about slothful, spiritually slothful? I've gotten so far away from step one and the need for power, because I'm the power, that I don't really have a prayer life. I don't really have a God. I can talk about it, but my actions prove different. I don't have a life of meditation. I never write inventory. I don't even have a sponsor. I don't go to my religious community. I make a guest appearance at an AA meeting once. So I'm not saying we do that, but I'm just using that as an example, please. I'm not trying to throw darts here. I would never do that. I heard somebody say, my job is not to cause controversy or stir things up at a meeting. When I sponsor you, I'll do that to you. Yeah, what about slothful spiritually? It's deadly. It says, can he now take them all, every one? The thing about defects, it's ongoing. It's not like I got rid of my defects and I'm good to go. I must have God's power here. But can he now take them all, every one? That's what step 6 says. Can he right now, take them all, every one? If I don't think my God's big enough, I just need to be smaller. I need a smaller me. God's big enough. God's perfect. I don't need another God. I know we said, find another God. No, God's God. If you find another God, it's the same God. It's like a God in Boca and there's a God in Fort Lauderdale. I know people who think they're gods in Fort Lauderdale and people, but there's one God. I just need to get smaller. We used to call it right size. Yeah. So I would look at this statement for years. Can he now take them all, every one? Well, I hope he does. He better, because I got nothing if he doesn't. I'm in serious trouble if he doesn't. Here comes humility and I don't even know it. If this doesn't work, I'm screwed. There's the spirit of humility. Not like, well, there's got to be something. There's nothing else. It's this or I drink and die. Then I looked at it this way as well. Can he now take them all, every one? Almost like Bill being sarcastic here. And the example I love to use is I'm walking into this meeting and you assign me with bringing big books and the keys to open up and a coffee pot. And I have a box of big books, I have a new coffee pot in a box, and the keys are hanging from my mouth. And you're all sitting outside and I'm making my way in and I drop everything, it's too heavy. And Nancy says, let me help you with that. I said, I got it. I'm good. I'm Mr. AA. I got it. And I pick up everything and I stumble along and I fall. And she says, can I help you with this? No, I got it. I do this 3-4 times. And I got a bloody knee. The books fell out of the box. The coffee pot's all over. And then she says, can I now take them from you? Are you done? Can he now take them all, every one? Are you done, Peter, running your life into the ground while you're sober? Because of defects of character. Yeah. I can't do this anymore. My job would be now to participate with God, his will, to cooperate whatever he has with me, and to cultivate it, to talk about it. Not to apologize, to talk about God or this book anywhere I go. And that includes Publix. If someone is in a conversation with me, there's nothing wrong with saying God bless you at the end of the conversation, even if they look at you like a deer in the headlights. It may plant a seed for someone. I need to be consistent with this God wherever I go. Not better than or less than, but cultivate it. And if there's an opportunity to talk to someone like those cats who would come up to me who are struggling with a new sex addiction, to talk about this power called God will take me past that. It's God. When all the mess is going on, and this one wins that election, and that one loses that election, and this one's protesting here, and this one's breaking windows there, and nothing's going my way, at the end of the day, God wins because he never leaves the throne. He wins all the time. That's what I need to be connected to. And what this book does is bring me right to his feet. Free of alcoholism, because I don't have alcoholism, and the isms are what we're talking about here with defects of character. It's the thing that drives me back to a drink again. The drug dealer is not, the bartender is not, the liquor store, they didn't even know my life. But defects get me closer to them. And it starts by alcoholism going underground and resurfacing other areas of my life. Thinking, number one, the mind is the biggest predator for me to hit the planet in my life. It's deadly. Bring the body and the mind will follow. We tell newcomers, no. No, leave your mind in the parking lot. We don't want it. You don't want mine, I don't want yours, because it's deadly. It's a predator. And what comes out of the mind is nothing but thinking. We're thinking all the time. We're thinking. I'll lay odds from here to Vegas. We're here almost an hour. But some of you heard half the talk, and the other talk you heard was from the head. Who's going to Lester's? I got work tomorrow. I hate my boss. Speaker's good. Back to my head again. And, you know, how you doing? I'm good. But if you look inside, we're like, just, how you doing? I'm very spiritual today, goddammit. If they put my mind under an MRI, the doctor would say, we got to talk. It's the thinking. It's where the defects are warehoused in the mind. It's a warehouse of bad stuff. And I keep returning to it. We have bedevilments on page 52. They don't just show up because they're there. The mind brings them to my life, and I invite them in because it's all I know. And as I said a moment ago, I'm so afraid of what I might become, I hold on to what I know. Even if it's painful. I know it. This is my flag. This is my story. At some point, I don't want to live my story. I don't want my biography to become my destiny. I want to live the life God has freely given to me, a full and abundant life with all the bumps in the road. Doesn't mean I'm going to be rich. Financially, rich in spirit, absolutely. We'll become millionaires in here. It doesn't mean that I'm going to watch the news and everyone's on the beach enjoying each other's company. We've been at war since the beginning of time. That's not going away. But I can be a peacemaker because peacemakers don't seek peace. Peacemakers go where there's turmoil to bring peace. I'm willing to do it. It's my job as a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. I'll do any 12-step call. Whatever it takes. It pleases God. And that's what I'm out of trying to do, please God. I can't do it when I'm showing up with all these defects of character. Can't do it. God will remove them or tweak them in his way, in his time. Positive affirmations is wonderful. Writing a gratitude list is wonderful. Some of us do something called journaling. God bless. Whatever it is, I don't have the power to get rid of defects. It's like holding my breath. So on bended knees, I go to God. Help was a complete prayer. One of the prayers my grant sponsor gave us was, God, please let me be aware of the defects that I'm unaware of before they get to me and kill me. Because I may not know them. But with a level of awareness and some spiritual fitness, it's kind of like you're sitting in the office and you hear the elevator bell go off and you hear the defects walking down the hallway. Here they come. I'm in a heated discussion with someone. Here comes self-righteousness. Here comes ego. Here comes pride, the mother of all the 7 deadly sins. You know, they're coming in. They're going to take over this conversation, and boy, what an amends am I going to have to make? So I lock my door. I listen to it less. It's only because of God. Awareness is the greatest agent for change. If my car's rolling down the road and I hear a thumping sound, I got to get out and look. Oh, flat tire. And I can fix it and drive on. Awareness. And sometimes my ego doesn't want to look at that. Well, I should rephrase. All the time, my ego doesn't want a spotlight put on me because it's going to get exposed. So I chop wood and carry water with this stuff, and we'll do step 7 next week. There's just one cool line that we can sit with. The beginning of step 7 in the big book, it says this: when ready, we say something like this: when ready, when ready. I went past that for years. And the guy from Texas who was sponsoring me says, "Money, where you going?" I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "You look at what it says. It says when ready." I said, "Yeah, what about it?" He says, "When is ready." Take a statement, flip it into a question. When ready, we say something like this: well, when is ready? When I'm willing to have God remove from me everything that's blocking me from him, which means I'm going to be like a chunk of malleable clay, and he's going to do whatever he wants with it, and it may not be the shape I like or the direction I want my life to go, but it's his path, and okay, let's go. Because I know what happens when I start to steer. I'm headed towards another white chip if I'm lucky. So if I'm sitting here, and I'm not trying to take a cheap shot, please. If I'm sitting here and I have a drawer full of white chips, why? Why don't I have a 1 year and a 2 year and a 3 year and I'm giving those away to the people who are making 1 year? God's trying to hire us, and I'm busy collecting white chips. Okay. The harvest is plentiful, the laborers are few. God needs workers. And I'm collecting white chips because I'm afraid to surrender and just say, God, just take my life. Whatever. I don't care if you send me to Timbuktu. I'm going to travel light. Things are going to be really cool. But I got my my hands on the wheel too tight. Pain and misery will free me up, that's for sure. So that's all I got. Peace.